Good to see everybody here. Good to see all the public come out. We want to thank you for participating in local government for all you do in the city. We know there are a lot of things happening. Just kind of checking out the work session. I know there are a lot of questions about various things, but just know that we're trying to work with the council to move the city forward as quickly and legally as possible. With that said, I want to begin tonight's message by drawing attention to an alarming statistic from last year. On a press conference this morning, Police Chief Jim Grayboy shared a staggering statistic with us that the Montgomery Police Department seized nearly 1,900 firearms in 2024. That's a significant challenge faced by our law enforcement officers every day. Furthermore, the rise of illegal gun conversion devices, or Glock switches and bump stocks, another firearm modification device, has increased the threat of violence in our community even more. As the legislative session opens today, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle have proposed solutions to address these issues. HB 26, SB 31, and SB 32 would ban machine gun conversion devices and impose stronger penalties for their use. HB 12 and HB 51 would ban those bump stocks. They're reasonable steps that respect the rights of responsible gun owners while prioritizing the safety of our city and our state. I don't see this as a political or partisan issue, but more a public safety and public health issue that we must address. We're doing our part. We ask leaders at the state to help us by doing theirs. We all want a safer community and a safer state. The time to act right now is now, and I hope that if we get the opportunity to discuss these issues down with the legislature, we'll have members of this body, city council, as well as myself, and Montgomery Police Department advocating for why these changes are needed. Now, shifting gears, I want to highlight a recent project that was just announced. Diageo, a global leader in alcohol beverages, has committed $412 million in capital investments to establish its new distribution plant in Montgomery. The 360,000 square foot facility will create more than 100 full-time high-quality jobs and approximately 750 jobs during the construction phase. Diageo's investment reinforces the crucial part of our region, plays in logistics, manufacturing, and supply chain infrastructure within the Southeast. We are proud to work alongside Diageo, the Chamber, the county, and other partners to ensure the success of this facility. Montgomery has demonstrated a propensity for attracting world-class beverage manufacturers in other key industries as evidenced by this investment. After attracting $1.1 billion in capital investments in 2024, Montgomery continues to shine as a premier destination for businesses of all sizes, and we look forward to continued innovation and growth as we push further into 2025. Speaking of business, I want to make sure everyone is aware of the recent change to the deadline for business license renewals. The City of Montgomery has extended the deadline for renewals until February 21st without penalty. It is important to note while the renewal process has been extended this year, all tax accounts must be current with the City of Montgomery and paid in full before renewal will be issued. We appreciate your patience as our city staff works diligently to ensure that all business licenses get renewed ahead of the new deadline of February 21st. Please share that, and we'll make sure we want to try to get that out as far and wide as we can. Now, as the calendar has shifted to February, we want to draw attention to the month of February, which marks Black History Month. In Montgomery, Alabama, a city central to the civil rights movement, it's fitting that today is the birthday of Mrs. Rosa Parks. Her courage and her commitment against segregation in 1955 sparked the Montgomery bus boycott, igniting a nationwide fight for justice. In her words, to bring about change, we must not be afraid to take the first step. We will fail when we fail to try. We will fail when we fail to try. Amen. I want to say that again because we have to try regardless of what we think the outcomes may be when it comes to a lot of the challenges we see not only in our city, our community, our state, and our nation. And so in keeping with that, just a quote I think we ought to keep in mind. But that spirit will be celebrated throughout this month, from our libraries to our museums to other events that many organizations are leading and organizing. We ask all of Montgomery to take part in this and join us in commemorating Black history. Black history isn't just for Black people. Black history is for everyone. It's American history. We had a group from the Consul General's Office of Great Britain today. They told us that in 9th and 10th grades in Great Britain, they learned about Montgomery and the bus boycott. That's significant when you consider the global impact that so many people had here before they were mayors, before they were city councilmen, didn't really have a lot of titles outside of maybe the church or maybe outside the school and the community, what they were able to do. And to hear the Consul General from the United Kingdom talk about what they learned and how much they learned about civil rights history in 9th and 10th grades is very important. It even really put things in more perspective for me. We get a chance to visit with so many people from around the world, but I didn't realize that. So we want everybody to come out and participate and learn a little bit, participate, ask questions, enjoy, have a good time, eat a lot of good food, hear some good music, have some great conversations. It's not all heavy and serious, but it is a way just to share things that may not have been highlighted in our history the way that we ought to highlight it, certainly right here in Montgomery. With that said, in the spirit of Black History Month, I would also like to announce the City of Montgomery has received a $75,000 grant from the National Park Service to carry out some important work. The funding will be used to conduct surveys and research to help the Mobile Heights and Carver Park neighborhoods earn nominations for the National Register of Historic Places. Post-World War II segregated residential communities, they are adjacent to the Selma to Montgomery National Historic Trail and were associated with the Federal Housing Administration's segregated housing and the Civil Rights Movement. Created by Congress in 2014, the Underrepresented Communities Grant Program has provided $8.25 million to state and tribal historic preservation offices, certified local governments, and nonprofit organizations to expand the National Register of Historic Places through surveys and nominations. That must be in your district.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Shifting gears, I would like to extend an invitation to all of you for the swearing-in ceremony for new Montgomery Police Chief Jim Graybois at City Hall tomorrow, February 5th at 10 a.m. Chief Graybois has demonstrated outstanding leadership at the top of the Montgomery Police Department and is dedicated to the safety and well-being of every resident of Montgomery. The role of police chief is not just about enforcing laws, but about building relationships and fostering a sense of unity, safety, trust, and transparency across our great city. We stand together as a community to support Chief Graybois, and we hope that you'll be able to join us at tomorrow's event, whether it be in person or virtually, as we look toward a bright future for his leadership as well as that of the Montgomery Police Department. Now, closing out my message this evening, I would like to introduce representatives from Live Free. They join us tonight from a national organization dedicated to ending gun violence and the mass incarceration and criminalization of our communities. They have built a network of thousands of faith leaders, directly impacted leaders, and movement partners working to bring peace and healing to our nation's cities. As part of a public health approach, Live Free continues to advocate for community-led solutions and addressing the systems perpetuating this crisis. I'd like everyone in this room to ask themselves just one question from your position as part of our community. What can you do to join us in ending gun violence? Welcome members of the Live Free organization. I'd now like to invite them up to share a brief word of the work they have done and will do as partners in our community violence intervention program. Thank you all so much for being here. Really appreciate your work, and we look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate it. We really appreciate the partnership of the City of Montgomery. It's good to see some familiar faces. We were here, Marcus and I, last year and did a presentation in this room. We just have a couple minutes this evening, but tomorrow we're going to do a larger community forum, which everyone is invited to learn more about the strategy and the intervention. So my name is Dr. Antonio Cediel. I'm with Live Free USA, as the mayor indicated. This is my colleague, Reverend Marcus McAllister. We both do violence intervention training and technical assistance in cities all over the country. We both also are with the University of Chicago Crime Lab. We help design the Community Violence Intervention Leadership Academy. I serve as an instructor, and Marcus serves as the Dean of Students over there. Just to give you a quick update since we saw you last time. So right now, as the mayor said, this is an approach, community violence intervention, which is based on a public health lens for reducing violence in cities. And so we're pleased to partner with the Family Guidance Center, which has been contracted to be the organization over the main part of the strategy. Baptist Health is also at the table partnering with us as well. Right now we're in stages of hiring and getting ready to train the key staff that's going to be implementing the strategy. So we're really excited. We started our first interviews today. We'll be interviewing tomorrow as well. We'll be interviewing over the next couple of months, really paying attention to get the right people for this work. It takes very unique skill sets to do this well. And then as soon as possible, we'll begin the training of the staff and the teams as well. Marcus is going to be the lead trainer on this project, and we're hoping to launch this around May. So I'm going to turn it over to Marcus to talk a little bit about the training.
Sure. Good evening, everybody. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me, to all the council members and the mayor. So one of my jobs will be to do the training, and some of the things that we train on is conflict mediation, de-escalation, engaging high-risk individuals, CVI 101, we want everybody to understand what CVI is, professionalism when doing the work. I mean, we're trying to hire individuals that are from a particular community. We would like to get people that's from the area we're servicing. They have to be from that area. And only thing I would say too about the process, like today we're going over to managers, and we'll get to the point where we're getting what we call frontline staff that are kind of like the front line. But that's something that I know we're at a critical point of time, but I don't want to rush and get the wrong people either. It's not nothing you just grab anybody. It has to be the right individuals that are dedicated to the work, that have those relationships, that can understand, that lead with empathy. So I'm looking forward to doing those hiring panels. We also train on trauma-informed care, dealing with grief, working with program participants. What does that look like? Storing data, role plays, inputting data, and letting the data inform the work. Lastly, I'll say, and as he mentioned, I'm a pastor. I always like to give a little testimony, and I would just say like this, that it's humbling to be here in Montgomery. I'm excited to work with you all. I'll say this very humbly, no one in the country, so if you just want to Google, I'm not even just saying Live Free, Google me. No one in the country, in this whole country, has trained and lifted up more CVI sites than myself, and I just give God the glory for that, but no one's done more work in this country than me across the board when it comes to CVI, and I look forward to doing the work here and working right alongside of every one of you to get this thing done correctly. So thank you for having us.